Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode, we're going to be taking a look at a piece by the AI generative artist known as Leviathan Artificial Intelligence. And then this description is actually written by our author, Dejected Duplicate, here at the Apollo team. So we're going to be using that as the reference for the video today. So it really starts off with kind of asking the question, why does the work make you feel? But more importantly, Duplicate thinks that this piece may be the answer to that question. So really nice insight, and that's really the introduction that we're given here. And so he starts off talking about this idea of tension within the work at hand. And he also talks about texture as well. We certainly see texture everywhere from kind of the draped cloth all the way to the very light sense of roiling textures in the back there with the clouds. Even a sense of texture with the red of the field of roses there all gives a really good sense of texture and a little bit of visual energy, but really not too much. And, you know, whenever you look at a piece of art, especially this one, this really invokes all five senses here. You know, texture really gives us that sense of feel. Of course, we have the visual. One may even feel as if they could hear, say, a rustling in the wind. You know, this feels like a very calm scene, quite unsettling, of course, as well. And, you know, I also see kind of a sulfur color here, so that almost reminds me of taste in that aspect as well. But really invokes all the senses whenever you see this work, so I think that's really, really nice. And of course, whenever you see something like this, you're also kind of taking an amalgamation of all of your past experiences and your past memories and bringing them to the work at hand. So your interpretation is really based on a wide variety of different things. So, and in this work, you know, we see this really main yellow streak here, but also this yellow hue throughout the work as well. And this feels very mellow. You know, it may remind you of a calm sunset, you know, not too much visual energy here. It is quite mellow. And it's quite interesting because, you know, we normally expect, say, roses to be very flowy, you know, maybe some wind up in the work at hand. I just got distracted by this. This caught my eye. It just stands out almost unsettlingly. And the main subject appears to be collecting flowers from this large patch. So really, really interesting there. Of course, we normally expect the roses to be kind of flowing and roiling in the wind, but we don't see that here. The roses are kind of dead still, almost unsettlingly still. So that really does add to this kind of unsettling, maybe slight horror type of nature that we're looking at in the work at hand. A really, really nice work here. And, you know, it's almost as if they're saying, don't look at us, look at them, you know, kind of trying to blend in or hide within the crowd. Of course, a massive chorus and a frenzy of a there for sure. And so it's almost as if they're trying to call our attention to the main subject here. Of course, the subject is standing in center, so that always calls the eye. It really draws the eye as well. Of course, it also interrupts what we would expect as the horizon. Really takes up that space and just, you know, says, look at me right here. So if the roses are saying, don't look at me, then the main subject may be saying, look at me, you know, directly. So really, really calls the eye there for sure. And Dejected Duplicate was also talking about this idea of the oil painting, or this feels very reminiscent of an oil painting. And he really references texture in that main bit, and we definitely see that for sure. It feels very delicate, feels very classic. It really gives that oil painting aesthetic for sure. So I think that's a really nice insight that I wanted to mention. And so our main subject here is this kind of lone robe subject, and it's we don't see a face here. It's quite hollow. It's quite unsettling and unforgiving as well. And like I said, it appears that the subject was picking some flowers throughout through the patch there. Quite interesting. And what really draws the eye, of course, is the cloak. You have that amazing sense of texture. Almost looks like a tree stump, you know. It's very natural, but at the same time, it's quite unsettling. So all of that really, really draws us in, and the subject is just unsettling. You know, it is that slight horror nature, but it's not too scary. So I think that's really interesting. And Duplicate also talked about this work being kind of oddly welcoming, and I think that's really interesting as well. You know, it's not too unsettling. There is an unsettling nature. It's not too horrific, although it is a little horrific. So there is this really, really unique thing there where it feels intriguing. You know, it feels very curious. You might wonder what we're looking at or what we're looking at. What do you guys see whenever you view this piece? Personally, whenever I see this work, especially with that kind of sulfur color and the hollow face, it isn't too welcoming to me, but Dejected Duplicate wrote the description, so he really sees that as kind of oddly welcoming, and I think that oddly element is really important as well. It's hard to say why it could be welcoming to some people, but he's really working towards that. I think Dejected Duplicate did an amazing job at really pointing that out there. And there's also this kind of unease of texture as well, but that's set in juxtaposition of the much more calm, kind of smoother clouds in the backing as well. So there's a unique fight between those two, and it's all very interesting for sure. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this work. If you guys did, go check out the original artist, Leviathan Artificial Intelligence. And if you guys enjoyed it as well, go check out the original author who created the description. It's going to be Dejected Duplicate. Really blessed to be able to have some contribution on the team and just to all really work together. So amazing work, and is a very nice insight to the Apollo Art Archive. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next episode. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all next time.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.